Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully everyone's having a great day. Let me just share the live stream thingy, link, whatever. Adding more stuff today, pretty much. I'm getting to the point where in this engine we're gearing up to. We're gonna have to start handling 2D rendering at some point. So this live stream is going to be kind of like the last couple before I start going into the next phase, which is 2D rendering. Because let's just show people who may be shooting it for the first time. I've got the chat up. Where we're up to. So there's a couple of things that we need to add, like for the game itself, right? Yo, Jackie Jen, how you doing, dude? So just explaining that, yes, we have this all floating around and stuff. I should mention quick, actually, I got this all working in Linux. So that's actually pretty good. That's what I've been doing today, just getting things working on Linux, studying a bit of threading. Oh, my voice is looping. Oh dear. Let me mute. All right. Is it good now? I think I had my speakers. It just repeats. Hi Gemma, how you doing, dude? Hope you're having a great day. Yeah, I just put my speakers really close to my I put my headphones really close to my microphone briefly, so yeah, so that might have been it. Let me know if it continues. If it's still continuing, I'll maybe restart this streaming program or something. I don't know. But as far as I can tell, everything looks fine. Let me see if I can hear myself. How do I do that? I don't know. I'll just rely on you guys. Yeah. Anyway. Right. Looks like we're good. Hopefully. Yeah. Just tip me off if it's repeating again, because that's kind of awkward. So we're going to be adding like I'll explain in a minute. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I was just making sure my audio wasn't repeating. Okay. So we're gearing up for 2D rendering. Because at this point we need a way to menu into the game and show stuff that's 2D, like a HUD, you know, all that kind of stuff. So we have no way of doing 2D rendering, which is the next step. We've got to obviously do instance rendering, and then we've got to do text. I'm not actually sure how much text we want to put on. We could just like render a texture that has text on. But anyway, this is where we're up to. We've got some music and stuff. Like I said, I got this working on Linux and studying a bit more threading, so the sequential stuff we will eventually get rid of it. And it'll be threaded, and we'll have lots of nice stuff going on. So today what we're going to be trying to do is, instead of pressing W to move forward like this, this is supposed to be a spaceship, and we're going to have thrusters that push the spaceship forward, right? And that would mean that standing still wouldn't make any sense, so we're going to have to add like a way that consistently adds a forward vector to the player. We're going to move the player down, I think, by a bit as well. We're going to try and add some more sound effects, maybe like a thruster sound effect when we move forward. A couple of things like that. So we're just going to kind of clean up what we're going to do today, and maybe even like add a death condition. So like when we crash into the asteroid, if you crash into it like long enough, for example, like that, that might be like game over. I don't know yet. So yeah, we're just trying to make it a little bit more playable. Right now the forward vector is tied to the frame rate, so it looks okay on this, but if the frame rate is lower, like it will be for other people, because I think we're still running pretty high frame rate. Let's see. Let's run this. So yeah, in debug mode, we're running at. I'll turn this off. So this will be more accurate. We've got a lot of debugging still going on. So we actually speed up when. I don't know if it's that visible, but we actually slow down relative to the rocks when we render. Yeah, I think to me I can notice some acceleration and deceleration. So we're going to try and make that frame independent. So you know, if you guys play the game, it's not going to be super slow. You know, flying around. Okay, good. It's stabilized. Yeah, I think I just put my headphones. My bad, by the way. I was yapping while I put my headphones right next to my microphone. I was taking off my hoodie. So yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. So yeah, a couple of like random things, and I think soon, if not tomorrow, maybe the day after. Yeah, we're gonna start trying to render just a regular. We're gonna go back to 2D rendering, trying to render a rectangle on the screen, which feels like Vulkan 101. Hi guys, yeah, hi the Caps, how you doing, dude? So yeah, let's dig into it. So the first thing that we need to do, let's think about this. Now, do I want to have the death condition done first? I think what I need actually, first thing is to reset the player. Like, so we need like a new if else kind of R key. This is just for debugging purposes. Obviously won't be in the game, but if we're going to have the player move automatically by itself, we need to have like a way to reset the player. So we need to the beginning of the game. So if we fly off like, I don't know, for a long time in one direction, we can just reset the player, which will be easier for us to debug the gameplay. Where's the player? And it should be a nice, simple warm-up to get us back into things. So, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we have rotation handled in the same way. We set that. So this is the tricky part. We normalize a set vector in a particular direction. So we have x and z, and we don't zero out the y component of the vector that we move in the direction. So this is the tricky part of how we're going to actually... this is going to be one of the tasks of the day, trying to get this to make sense, because we normalize the camera forward direction. Let me see. I don't understand what we're doing here. My question is, what is that? Oh, yeah, we need to define it, but I just had a look here. We're doing an assignment twice. So I'm kind of curious, right? Like, just immediately looking at this is kind of sus. Alright. Okay, so it does matter. So yeah, W, okay. Oh, I see what's happened there. We're taking this as a result. Okay, so in my other maths library, this works a little differently. This is the maths library of the physics engine. So yeah, I just got a bit confused there. This will return. This actually modifies this value, rather than returning a new value, which is what my other library does. So okay, so reset the player, right? So update. Yeah, because we're not even using delta time at the moment. Let's try and incorporate delta time, right? So current velocity plus that value, desired velocity, and I think if we times that by delta time, we'll be considerably slow, but we can speed it up by a factor. By this factor, I guess. I just noticed that that it has music now. Yes, that's so I think we're moving, but extremely slowly. Yeah. Just about. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted. But now we've got to think about the desired velocity based on the movement, and we need to scale this up by quite a bit, because we need to do this by the delta. Otherwise, we end up like with a so desired velocity. What do I want to do here? I think I just want a bigger factor. No, I didn't make this song. It's like one of my new favorite songs. That has come from. Actually, I should be playing some music. What is it called? Yeah, Lufia 2. I've literally never heard of this RPG, but it's on the SNES, and I think it's like it has a vibe that I want to like incorporate into the game. It's kind of like a last level type music, if you know what I'm saying. Right, so let's just increase this by order of magnitude. But I will be obviously looking for other people. Hi, Matt, by the way. Thank you for tuning in. Always nice to have you here. Okay, so yeah, we're going very slow. Let's increase it again. So I don't know how annoying. Let me know if the music's annoying, like clashing music. Okay, so that's better. I want to go a bit faster though. Like, do you prefer, like, as a viewer, do you prefer the music in the background that's just from the playlist as well? Ooh, restart this. Okay. Because I'm not entirely sure what the. Okay, so 9. That seems good. Now, what I'm going to do to try and test this is... Hello, Mado. How you doing, dude? I was reading what you were doing in the... what you were saying. And the pipeline code in Vulkan is pretty long. It's one of the longest parts, especially when you're drawing a triangle. But yeah, just stick with it. It's one thing you write once and you don't have to worry about. Yeah. I think you're right there, yeah. Because I obviously want to make a good viewing experience, and for you guys, it's important that because there's not much visually going on. Oops. That it's nice to listen to. So let me just stop the audio then for now, and because it is kind of loud in comparison to the music. And we know it works, so that's more what we were doing, so we can always restart it at different points as well. So we have sound effects. Where's the music looping? It's not here, it's in load assets, I think. Yeah, alright, so we'll just, for now, we'll come back to this code. We're going to work with this a bit later. So that shouldn't play the music. Burnt out and exhausted. Yeah, it's tough, honestly. I'm feeling that a bit yesterday, to be honest. So I just did other stuff that needs to be done, sorry. Yeah, that's cool. Let's turn up the music bit here as well. It's a bit quiet on my end. If that's too loud, let me know, but I think that's chill. Okay, so yeah, we'll turn it off. Right, what have we got? We want to go back to the player, right? And what I want to do is compile in debug. Because in debug we are a lot slower in debug, and I want to check the frame rate we don't get so much faster. So that's the first task that I want to solve today, is just making sure that you've got independent movement based on the frame rate. We don't want to do a Fallout 76 launch where the frame rate, where the movement's tied to your frame rate. Because someone on a poor laptop will be playing the slowest game of their lives. Okay, so what do we want to do? I want to go back to player, and I think we'll stick this at 1,000. I think it's just pretty safe to put it at 1,000 for now. Nothing crazy, and we want to go into. So yeah, let's just make sure this isn't crazy, but we want to, oh, we are on release. Oops, we should be compiling for debug. Okay, so that's not what I want to do. Debug. I want to see it slower first. The slowest it can be. I will write out all the pipeline code again if I want a different pipeline. Yes. But there should be a lot of crossover. Okay. Sounds... It's a bit slow still. So, for example, if you want to add like a pipeline, but the only difference is, for example, I'll show you 2 pipelines. In this. So, obviously the debug render is rendering in wireframe mode. And that's a different graphics pipeline, but it's very similar, so I could basically just use the same code again. Okay, so let's see. So yeah, I will rock with this for now and just see, like, it's still a little slow. Actually, I do want it to be a bit faster. Let's go 2K. Yeah, whatever. Hello, Kalia. How you doing, dude? Yeah, not bad. We're just adding more gameplay. Oops. So yeah, this speed for now is like decent for testing, and we just need to now be able to reset the player. Yeah, this will do for now. Okay. Yeah, we've got to add some more cool stuff to the game. Right, okay. Now we just need to reset the player's position. Movement. So let me just remember how the player's position set. I think it's just set as a uniform. Sorry, as a buffer device address with some offsets based. So yeah, this gets from the player ID, and yeah, so it's all just in here, right? And so I think what I want to do is very simple. I just want to say set position equals 0, 0, 0. Yeah, this is just a void reset position. This should be the simplest code I've ever written. Because I'm just going to use the physics engine, although it's going to be slower, but we're not going to do very much. I don't really care about the speed at this point, because how many times are we going to reset the player to 0, 0, 0, right? So I think we're just going to take the body. I think we should set the movement to 0. Is this our character? Yes. So you want to set the position to 0, 0, 0. Set position. I think we can construct a 0 vector here. Let me just paste these in. Sound. So let me reset the player with all the way up here with the where is it? Oh, yeah, we don't want this here. Obviously, we're not going to reset the player if the game is minimized. And these function names are a bit poop, so we're gonna. What am I doing? Like play is a bit vague. Reset position. So the music is Ola. Oh, okay. Yep. Thank you for letting me know. I will turn that down. I think it's been there in the past, so I'll put it there. Thank you for letting me know, by the way. If the music is too loud, yeah, always just give me a shout, and I can always adjust that. So, learning C++, lol. Hell yeah, bro. Love that. Yeah, hopefully it wasn't blasting your ears. Okay, so very simple, and then we're going to press reset. Oh, that's E. Yes. Okay, that's very good. So we're going to push out really far just to... I know I've already verified it, but the idea is we can... That's me. The sound effects. Not the game. Okay, so like reset. Okay. It doesn't reset the orientation now, which is... Yeah, so if I spin this way around, we need to also reset that, I think. So rotation needs to be reset. Which is kind of trickier because that is not done with any of the physics. Well, it is, but it's done with where is it? So that's the movement. The stomach wants food. C++ making you hungry. Let me just think. Right, where is the mouse movement? So we have the camera vector. Okay, so I think what we want to do is reset the camera vector. Where's that coming from? Yeah, because we need to reset that. We're resetting the position of the player, but the camera's rotation is based on, you know, the mouse movement. So we actually need to reset the mouse movement here, which is different from what we were doing earlier. Player position. Update, yeah, update player camera. Let's just see. Okay, so the rotation. I think this is pretty straightforward. We just need to set a reset player camera. I mean, it's not that important. I mean, reset player camera and do the orientation. Okay. So the internal camera's rotation just needs to be a quaternion, I think. Or a pitch of 0 and 0, maybe. Let's see. Whatever it needs to be, it just needs to be reset. So, yeah, it's a nice little warm up for us to begin with. Game camera, internal 3D camera, reset position. Oh wait. Okay, no, that's not what I want to do. Game camera. That's not it? What did I call it? I literally just was in there. Reset player camera. Did I spell that wrong or something? Oh, whatever. Anyway, so that should set the rotation to 0, 0. And I think the pitch and yaw of the camera, yeah, are. And we do have a reset. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. Actually, I don't want to do this. I want to do everything else, actually. Yeah, what I'm going to do is take all this code. The reason I've got to be careful is because the position is... The camera's position is based on the player, not... It's not a free-floating camera. So I think that's fine if we just update the same way. I think it should be chill. Alright, so... Let's see. So spin around. Oh, that's really useful. Look at that. That's what I wanted, right? So if the player dies for some reason, I'm going to reset the player. It's like, all right, there you are. You're back in the game. You know, no. I don't know what the game is yet, but you're back in there. Yeah. All right, cool. We just want to make the player a bit lower, like where my mouse is. So I think what we're going to do here is when we update the players, we only really want to move the camera up and keep the player the same. We don't want to touch the player. We just want to move the camera. So we're always kind of looking above it. This is just going to help with seeing what's in front of you. For a space game, you need to see like directly in front of you, and if you can't see what's directly in front of you, you don't know what you're flying. So, alright, the first thing I need to do is figure out how to move it down without destroying everything. So the position That's the scaled vectors direction. So this is just based on the player's position that we pass in. What I'm tempted to do, we have a scale, we have the position, we have a scale back based on the direction. So this will only be for the Z coordinates. So this keeps us away from the... So what we need to do is just another one of these based on... trying to think which order to do it in. Do we do it after or before the subtraction? So we subtract this and this, but this is scaled first. Yeah, I just think we just need to do another. I wonder if it makes. Do you want to? Bit of a mad idea. What happens if we scale in with a unit vector in the Y? Okay, this is a bit nuts, but I'm gonna try it. So. No, that doesn't work. Okay, that doesn't work. Let's just keep it simple. I'd be scaling every component no matter what. It has to be a Y only vector. Will this be? This will be arbitrary. This will be, this will have values in every single direction. So anyway, enough messing about. So, vec3 sub. So this is quite straightforward. I needed this to be 0 in X, and we want to move our camera. It doesn't really matter. I can easily correct it, but I think we want to be positive because that moves us up, not down, which is negative. So how deep do I want to go? I probably don't want much movement at all, so I'm going to say 2 and then 0, right? Something like that. So it's just another subtraction. I wonder if we can add these together or something. No, I think we'd have to do this at some point anyway, so let's just do it here. Yes, I am writing my own game engine. If you are interested... wrong way. The game engine source code is linked in the description of the live stream if you want to check it out. So yeah, this is the void engine. So yeah, just went in the wrong direction there. -2. Oh, because I'm doing a subtraction, so it's negative. All right, I got my signs mixed up because I'm doing a subtraction. But that's effectively what we want to do. We'd have like a reticle here, right, where my mouse is. Yeah, so now we just need to make it move always in the forward direction rather than just when I decide. I think it's going to be straightforward. So it's basically empty. Well, I mean, pretty much. I mean, there's not much in the engine, to be honest. I'm designing the game on the fly. It's kind of funny, though. I know what you're getting. It's a bit of a joke, that, but like, it's almost true. Anyway, so I think what we want to do here is a... Right, we want to have... Which one's W? Oh, I'm in the wrong plane. So player... We always want to be moving, no matter what, in the W direction. So I'm going to take handle events. I think what we want actually is to take out... I'll take out W for a minute, and we'll just put set like this. We'll just see how that goes, right? So that should, in theory, just always be moving. And then we have to control it. Oh, right. Wrong direction. And yeah, we're completely moving in the wrong direction. Interestingly... Okay, so this is a bit more complicated than just setting the... Right, let's put that back. It is W, yeah, the W key is definitely forward. But I think we need to do it in the handle event code then. because this is important we get the orientation right. So I was applying, I think I was applying this after, so I'll take this out for a minute. Handle events. This bit of math at the bottom needs to be handled based on the camera's forward thingy. I saw the source code, looks quite nice. Curious. Why you choose Vulkan? Perfecto. Look at that. So I'm not pressing W right now. So now we're always moving along, which makes sense for a space game. I'm rotating based on my camera. Very nice. And I can reset. Yep. Cool. Why did I choose Vulkan? Cross-platform. That was the biggest thing for me. So that got rid of DirectX and Metal. Because I want this to run on Linux. Which it currently does. The other reason, I know in the future this is a bit far off still. I know in the future that OpenGL is going to be not as well supported for like future graphics cards. So I wanted to just be update now with all the new features that come with Vulkan. Okay, so the music's repeating. Let me just do that. So yeah, those are the two major concerns, and I had already been learning Vulkan. I think my first video where I actually talk. Yeah, sorry about this. The YouTube playlist sometimes repeats music. So yeah, that was a lot of things done very quickly. So yeah, that's basically the reasons. So okay, nice. Right, what do I want to do next? Now we want like a thruster sound effects. Where am I going to get that from? I think... So I'm going to pause this. This is not game programming. What I'm going to do is open up Audacity and just rip some Gunstar Heroes sound effects out. Obviously this is just for demo, but I want to see how this works with other sound effects. Yeah, what I was thinking is not like in the next 5 years. I was thinking in the next like 30 years. I would want to make sure that even though you can technically write with OpenGL 1.1, there was no like issue with the future. And I'm trying to move along as with new tech comes out. Like, right. So sound effects. This shouldn't be too loud. Right. I'm just gonna turn all my stuff down just for a minute. I just don't want you. Oh, I think I already did that in Audacity. I can't hear this. Let me just... So I'm just going to like rip a sound effect, and I want to just... Because I've got another sound effect noise. And I just want to make sure that they don't like stack and do something horrible. How do I change my audio in this? I've forgotten. It's some other menu. It's yes. Okay, so speaker out. That should be me. Good. Okay, cool. Hello, Ratchet. Okay. Yeah, it's already not well supported. Unity's GPU resident drawer and GPU occlusion culling won't work with OpenGL for me. Yeah, interesting. Okay. I'm unfamiliar with engines, to be fair. Adaptive probe volumes don't bake either. Vulkan works fine, I guess. Yeah. Hi, I'm interested in learning virtualization, and I'm learning Vulkan. Could you please tell me how to get started and what kind of goal you can have? Interesting. Yeah. What type of game should you play? I think you can play any game. I think I've said... Alright, I'll just... Yeah, consider I pause the timer and we're not quite game development yet. I will just post a link for you. I'm not sure because you're already learning Vulkan. I'm going to post a link to my favorite tutorial and my slightly more advanced tutorial. And it's a Vulkan guide. these are like how to get started stuff. So Vulkan Guide is like a more advanced version, but it teaches you the same stuff, right? I would stay away from the Vulkan tutorial, Vulkan-tutorial from 2016. It has mistakes in it, and it's like Vulkan 1.0 basically. Anyway, let me pause this so I can hear these sound effects. They shouldn't be too loud for you guys. So this was like a space game, so I'm kind of wondering if they've got like a... Nope. 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 Flippin' heck. I expected it to find one. There is a space level in this game. I just thought it'd be faster than searching the internet. I could do that, but that's like horrendous. No, I guess not. I guess these are all like... it must be part of the music in the game. I'm thinking of a Mega Drive game. This is all from a Mega Drive game. So they obviously had their music rocket sound effect in the actual game. Alright, so I don't think we're going to find it in this. Need some like thruster sound effects. Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you're going to learn... yeah, make sure your C++ is really strong. Or whatever language you want to use, like Rust, Zig, Odin. You know, take your pick. It doesn't really matter. The stronger your language basics, the better. You don't have to go crazy with it though. It's not like you have to know everything about it. Anyway, game dev sound effects. How do I find these quickly? I'm a bit unprepared. I didn't think we'd get this far this quickly. I just want like stuff from like 20 years ago that was like free. Space thruster noise or something. So nothing crazy, just no. Okay, so this is just gonna do anything. Space thruster. Minor. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Is that how you spell thruster? Am I tripping? Yeah. No, not a jet. Yeah, okay, large rocket kind of thing. That was really loud earlier, so. Okay. That's a bit dramatic. Okay, yeah, I'm going to use this. Hopefully you can bear with me while I do a bit of random audio editing. So I'm just going to repeat the middle bit over and over again. Yeah, I want to do literally everything before I have... let's delete this. And... yeah, whatever. What? Alright, let's close this. Just open it again. 17. Just duplicate a bunch of stuff. File, open. Downloads. Where are you? What? so quiet. Okay, it's too quiet. I will quickly... Eric has a nice blog about the beginners trying to get into graphics. I haven't heard about that. Space doesn't have sound. I know, but you want to feel like you're flying the spaceship. I think it would be a bit of a boring game if we had no sound effects. You gotta have sound effects and stuff, you know. It's Space Invaders had sound effects. We gotta have it. Okay, so what about these? Ugh, this sounds like... I don't want to accidentally get some AI stuff. That's a big concern right now, actually. Why is it all so quiet? Alright, I'm just gonna have to pick something. Yeah, but that's literally what we had earlier and it was so quiet. Okay, that's clearly not good enough. That's just a live recording. No, not a wind turbine. Why is everything literally just... Okay, we'll come back to this. I'll download this again. What's this? What? Oh. This is weird. Oh god. What have I downloaded? Okay. Yeah, we wanna have some like I want it to be a bit gamey. Why is it open twice? Nope. And you be quiet. Okay, cool. And I just want to take this bit. Yeah. Okay, everything else can go away. Sorry about that, gang. I feel like why is this quiet? Okay. And delete this. And then we go and take this. Duplicate this. Nope. Let's just make sure that overlaps fine. Let's go and do a bit of this. Nope. There and there. Kind of, yep. I think that should be good. No, a bit more. Needs to be further back as well. And this to yep, something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this off, bring this in. Getting close. Nope. Still. Really? Alright, fine. This is just a demo anyway. I'll get someone else to make these nicer. Alright, One more. Move these to connect. And then another one. Not ideal, but it'll do. Let's export this. It's not quite the sound effect I'm going for, but you know, I can't be on this for too long because we're actually supposed to be doing the programming. Let's type in something like flying. Oops. Flying noise. So this is what a duck sounds like, by the way, when you're actually flying. Do you use AI? No. I love programming too much. Yeah. I'm trying to make it so you can't amplify the clip. Yeah, I'm just gonna not worry about it too much. This is just gonna be a test anyway. So we will I'll do this. I'll probably do this off stream. It's a bit more. So what I want to do is just check that the two sound effects don't overlap and sound horrible. We will have music too, so we're going to have music as well, like looping at the same time. So we're going to have everything kind of playing. And yeah. All right. Okay. So this is the sound effect. Make sure that the actual sound effect exists where I think it does. So it should be in here. No, where did it go? Yeah, so this was just, I just want to scour the internet for hours trying to find the perfect audio. Where did it go? Okay, it went in assets, okay. Because otherwise we'll end up, you know, it's kind of boring just searching the internet for some random thing that it's not even going to be in the final game anyway. Alright. Oops. So I want to take this, put it in the source, assets, audio. It's got a FLAC. It says flying noise. Alright, so let's just... So this is going to be part of the sound effect group, I think. Yeah. So let's just duplicate this. We will make this into a for loop in a minute. But for now, I just want to see and make it into an array and stuff like that. Because this is obviously very likely to have issues if I just keep adding like random stack arrays like this. This will be an array soon. Well, we'll have two arrays. We'll have one for music and each sound group will have its own array. And so the original is the music, and we want to have this, and we're going to have sound 2 playing, and then we're going to have to uninitialize sound 2, and there we go. I think that even a game engine is too much for learning to... Okay. Yeah. Here we go. So this would be... I don't know. I don't know. This is a bit nuts. Got like NES music. We got a realistic thruster sound effect and a sound effect from a 16-bit video game. Oh dear. That makes no sense. Bit of a mad and we're flying a duck. This game's a bit nuts. Who's ready for it to be released? So Elijah has said something I'm kind of interested in reading. I think that even a game engine is too much to learn for a couple of beginners, and that time should be spent on something a bit simpler. What I recommend for beginners is write themselves either ray tracing or rasterizing software or both. Oh, I think is that from Casey Moratori? I swear Casey said, did Casey say that? Elijah? Oh, Eric. Sorry, Eric. I think Casey Moratori's recommended the same thing. Yeah. Needs random quacks, yeah. Right. I think it all sounds okay. It doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound like bad or anything. I really just want to get a spaceship in. But I think I'll do that off stream. I think it's a bit. I'll look for like a vaguely spaceshipy looking thing off stream. Just because I don't want to take up everyone's time with me looking for art assets online. It's kind of boring. So, all right. So this is a. I don't know what to call this. Do I have the laser sound effects? No, I don't. Let's. I like that sound effect, but it doesn't really make sense. So I do have a laser sound effect that I could use, which I on disk, so we don't have to go looking for it. And we'll see how that pans out. I've used it in a very old game that I made. It's like it was a really bad game. I wouldn't. Yeah, we'll use this like weak ass laser sound effect for now, just to avoid having to scour the internet for some kind of random laser sound effect. Oh, can't I just paste in the path? No. I guess not. Audacity does things different. Assets, audio, sound, WAV. And then we want to take this. How do I delete this thing? It's got to be delete somewhere. Control. Oh, I didn't read that. Control. Why is this awkward? I should have just done this from the beginning. Open with. It's not there. Never mind. This is taking too long. So I'll just import it like we did without the other thing in the way. Okay, cool. Right, let me export. And yes, laser flak. And we're just going to have laser flak instead of the other thing. Sound 1. Okay, and then we're going to actually get back to programming. Laser. Laser is an acronym. Okay. So, I don't know if we're going to have lasers, but I think it makes more sense. Okay, so we can't find it. The export. Why would anyone want to put that in? Oh, it's with a. Okay, of course it is. It's with an S for some reason. Laser. So this is the laser sound effect. Okay. I think we should be good. Okay, great. That's me shooting a laser. Okay, cool. Right, I will mute the sound effects. There is a crossfade tool, light amplification by Zen. Okay, is that like what is that for? Light amplification? I'm actually not sure what that's for. Okay, so that shouldn't have the music playing. But But it should have the laser, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know why. I've clearly called it laser at some point in the past, and not. I agree with you. It's completely spelled wrong. But we're just gonna roll with it for a minute. All right, because I need to do this. This is the next thing I need to do. This is very important. So each array type needs so sound effects and music. This is a very like obvious thing I need to do. Sound effects and music. So we're going to get rid of these. Now we need to initialize them. What are these used? Okay, so we'll leave that there for a minute. Oh no. This is wrong. This is totally wrong. Give me a second. This is actually wrong. I purposely put it in the scene code because the scene code actually needs to index into these things. It's actually more important. So this is yes. Okay, so that was it. Sounds and musics. Let's call it music. Plural for music is music. There's lots of music here. Yeah, that's a lot of music. Okay. All right. So when the entity needs to be able to have. I think I puzzled over this last time, and I decided to roll with it. That every entity currently is going to have all the entity components in them, and then we'll parse it out based on so like sound effect index. I'm not sure how much we'll have. We also need to get rid of this player and his dynamic thing. This is not very. This is very inefficient. This needs to be moved to here. All right. Yeah, this is also irrelevant if we do this. This is kind of pointless. Debug. Oh. So the uint max 32 is like a invalid index for me. So we have a pointer which is 8. How big is this? 4. So this needs to be changed to here. Actually, shape needs to be above everything. It's just reshuffling things. This is an 8-byte entry because it's a pointer. These two, though, if I could get rid of them by having dynamic and non-dynamic entities, that would be good. And a air quotes player entity just by itself. Let me think. Shake my head using C defines. Oh, these things? Oh yeah. They're in the C standard int. Yeah, nothing wrong with C defines in my opinion. Instead of using like standard numeric limits, we can just get OFFFFFFFF. And I don't know if it's faster, but this is a predefined macro, so this is done in the preprocessor step. So in theory, I don't know. I don't know what the compiler is going to do with standard numeric limits. I don't know if it's just as fast, just to copy the value in by default constructor. Anyway, I think I'm getting distracted here. We don't want to worry about this for a minute. This is a refactor job later down the line. We need to be worrying about how to index into these based on so when I create the player, what do? because it is important that I get this right. So, yeah, when I set up the player position, I also need to set up the indices that go with it. But this is just the physics for the player. The standard numeric limits max is definitely more readable and not at all verbose. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would imagine it's context, but I have a feeling that the standard writers would probably, although I don't want to go off in one. Sometimes the C++ standard has this tendency to write stuff that no one asked for or needed, and I would say that numeric limits max and min, you know, do we really need to template that? Do we really need that code? It's just a number. But you know, C++, maybe someone needs it. I don't know. It needed to be context per and exception safe, otherwise everything would break. Because a C macro can't be those things at all, never. Anyway, wait, how do I want to do this? So I've got to be careful here where I create the player. I'm currently playing like 2 different places, and it's kind of not dangerous, but it's a bit scruffy. Because I've set the player's collision here, and the actual player class is over here, with its movements and its character settings. Or am I? Yeah. So, no, it's even worse actually. I'm setting up the debug geometry, I think. Let's comment this out, because I'm kind of like a bit... No, what do I end up rendering here? Yeah, if I get rid of that, what do we end up rendering? Nothing. And nothing gets updated. Just the physics doesn't get updated. But that's good, because that tells me that there is no we need that to render the player. I think that's because I know why. Because the there's a lot more going on in the build solid entity than I think I'm letting on here, right? So we have the duck index, which is the... Yeah, this is the thing. This is just going to be tons of indices. Yeah, this is getting beyond scruffy. Because there's a lot of arguments here. And... What I'm... Now, immediately I'm thinking, off the top of my head anyway, this needs to be a struct that we pass in. That's usually the general idea when you have too many arguments in a function, you pass in a struct by copy reference. The problem is, well, I've run into issues when it comes to adding like sound effects. Let's just say I want to make it flexible right now. So this is the duck index, is the duck geometry, the duck thing that we saw. The rock index is for the rocks, the asteroids. The debug sphere tells us that we need to render a debug sphere geometry. The player just tells us the initial position. This is the orientation, which is just kind of 0. We have the sphere settings, and we have, what's this? The what's the last thing? Oh, the color, right? That's the color. And then a boolean to say is the player true or not. Now, yeah, I just need to know what's stored in. I think I need another layer of indirection when it comes to sound effects. maybe. Like an array of arrays. So also the new stuff and old ones are not interruptible. Oh, fantastic. Oh well, you know, C++ does its things. We basically ignore all of them. Well, although I say that and I'm learning how to do threading with the C++ standard. So I'm not completely out there yet. Unironically, the numerical limits is better. I will agree and not worry about it, because setting a number to a variable is so unimportant. It doesn't matter if it's better by microseconds. But anyway, I actually don't know, but I can't imagine setting a variable matters. How you do it, really. I just don't. Anyway, I'm getting completely distracted. I need to figure out a way to have multiple sound effects per entity that are uniquely identifiable, which is the question. Let me think about this. So we have our NCs being built. Now we needed to separate the data off because the data was the position and the color. Because that needs to be happening. That basically this needs to be GPU related. This is the debug version. I'm using a entity component, not system. So I'm trying to componentize my entities, but I don't have a system to like parallel to iterate over them in parallel. I'm just kind of using composition and components to achieve modularity to my entities, but that's it. It's as simple as that. It's very simple. It's just basically parallel arrays, if you know what that is. And yeah, hi, welcome to the stream, by the way. Hope your day is going fantastic. Nice. Okay, so yes, and at the moment I'm actually I'm trying to puzzle through how to add sound effects in a componentized way if we have more than one components. Because right now we've had this idea, right, where we've had one piece of debug geometry, one model, and basically everything's been one-to-one for each component. But now in a game you can imagine how many sound effects are for each player. So like a player character is going to have a lot of more sound effects, and enemies going to have a lot of sound effects. So there isn't a clean index that I can index into like one sound effect. I mean, I use numerical limits. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's whatever. Setting a number to a variable is not something I should be worried about. If C++ can't handle me setting a number to a variable, the language has gone truly to shit, and no numerical limits template thing will save it. So anyway, that's how I think about it. Do you have tag entities? Yeah. I'm trying to add multiple. Yeah, I'm trying to add multiple audio effects per entity. Yes. I mean, sorry. Do you have tag entities? I mean, yes. Yeah. Okay. Why would an entity own its sound effects and not just tell the audio system to play one? It needs to tell. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. What you said there, Ratchet, but how does it know which one to tell the audio system to play? That's what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. So if I use arrays, right, just parallel arrays, it's going to have like index 1, 7, and 9, and they need to be played at 0, 1, 7, and 9 need to be played at different times. So that's what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. like we have a flat array, we're trying to index into it at constant time, and now I need to have, I think what I'm thinking about then is to build an array of indices based on the sound effect index. But that's kind of tricky to set up and build that relationship between the two. Yeah, let me I'm just gonna have to keep puzzling through this. So my idea, I'm going to open up a second project just for this, because this is kind of interesting. So this is my scratch plates. It's well, scratch pad even, where I just like throw. Ooh, I could do this with. Do I want to do? No. I will leave this for now. So we want a struct entity. So I want to make this like easy enough that I could solve this in the future, right? So effects. We're going to use standard vector for this because I don't have any other. I haven't imported my. So uint 32. Index or something. I don't know. And the entity is going to have a standard vector of effects and effects indices. Okay, so here we have. Then we have an array of entities. So, oops. Entities. Right, okay, so now we've got to figure out a load entity system that makes sense. Because when we actually load, we have a void load effects, which is completely different. This is just going to do some work somewhere else. This is in a different file. Okay, so I've got to remember that. And what are we going to do here? So there's the indices. These are the actual, let's say, struct actual audio effects. So these are the actual like, so this would be the void start data thing. So this is the actual like buffer of data, and I'm just gonna go like standard vector of these. Audio effects. So this is actually from the library. This is simulating the library. Library loaded code. So that's actually not really my engine. So then we're gonna have like a list of these things. Effects. So for now I'm just gonna kind of cheat and let's do a static const expr hard value because I don't really care. Total effects. So see total effects equals 10, not 20, whatever. Oh, this needs to be uint32, and just gonna go into here uint32. Sorry, I'm not talking too much in the chat. I just want to blast through this so I can actually puzzle, because this is the problem. I want to have the problem all laid out. Okay, so effects. I guess I could reserve. I'm gonna be a good programmer, right? I know it's completely pointless, but it's total effects. We don't want to be doing that pointlessly. Anyway, and we want to be sending some arbitrary data to I don't know, change this to uint8, so it's a byte. And we're going to push back some random stuff. I don't think it matters. Why are you being... Oh, duh. Okay. Dot data equals... Did I do that? No? No, okay. Didn't like that. So... Audio effects. E. Oh, come on. Data equals something. Oops. So I want to set this to some random value. Doesn't really matter. Escape point, really just type anything in that works. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of this pointer because like it really doesn't matter what this is, honestly. We'll pretend that's actually got some, that's a buffer, right? So E goes in here. That's number 2. Okay, so this is what ends up happening. We end up loading a bunch of stuff, and then we have like an index into it. But the problem is the index and the actual loaded code, which needs to be threaded at some point, I think. Like the relationship between these and these don't make sense. Yeah, so let me catch up with chat because I was kind of typing for a lot there. I don't know, but you could like make like a composition class for audio effects. That's what I'm map audio for entities, array of sounds based on the entity tag. Load a map for entities. Okay, and then array of sound effects based on the entity tag. Yeah, okay, I see, and then use that as the key. That's one way of doing it, yeah. And so you have it at runtime. Basically you need an entity ID and an audio effect. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do, yeah. I say I make a BK semaphore. Saving 3 mallocs and 3 mem copies. That's what programming is all about. Yeah, 100%, yeah. Sometimes programs are spamming threads, sure. Thread maxing, 100%. Alright, so I've got something to chew on. So this is the basic problem, right? If I do this, I need to basically tie the relationship between the loaded entities. And when I start creating them, right? Obviously I won't create them in a for loop. Like player, this is like player 1. And this is equal to... an entity, so we're going to make an entity here. I don't know how many entities we're going to have, so I'm just going to leave that not pushback, not reserved. So player, construct that to be nothing at the moment. Player, okay, so dot effect entities. Now I could just do like this. This is what I don't want to do. Like 3. Oh, effects. Yeah, it needs to be effects. Sorry. 3, 1, and then like 99. The problem is, it's like how. Yes, that does build a relationship between the two, but like this array and this array are completely like separate. I think what I might want to do then is, instead of having these two completely separate entities, where this is like this would be yeah, okay, that's fine, aka MA sound, right? That's what that is. I think what I need to do is like have another layer of indirection where I have like a struct. Let's call it MA sound, right? Let's get rid of this for a minute. That's actually what it is. So I'm actually going to throw this in like this. Okay, so that has something in it. Okay. You're really not enjoying that comment? Oh, it's this up here. Okay. Duh. And now I want to do a audio effect. Now, shout at me if this is a terrible idea, but let's move this below because it won't know what it is. But let me type it out first before everyone yells at me. So we have MA. What we want is an MA effect. An MA sound. So sound, whatever. So when we're loading them, which I'll get back to in a minute, we need to do a sound, which will take the data in. But then we also have the entity index at the same time. So when we load this guy, let me think. I think it's closer, but it's not quite right, because effectively what I want is this to happen. Audio effect instead, and then sound equals the data, and then e.index equals I. We'll put that I for now. You know, that'll be the index. Okay, so what I've done there is I've stored the index based on the audio effect, but that still doesn't quite tell us what should be in this. What I'm trying to do is trying to merge these together effectively. Sorry if this is a little unclear, but this is like this is just architecture stuff at the moment. Let me start the music again. Oh, why is it? I don't know why YouTube does this. It like kicks you out the playlist every now and again. Anyway. So no. Clicked the wrong thing. Yeah, okay, so let me when would you need to get the index from the effect itself? When I'm setting up the entities. That was my idea, right? So I'll get to this in a minute. Sorry, let me okay, so hopefully that will behave. We'll listen to that again. It's a 6 song anyway. So my idea was that I would be like this still doesn't solve the problem, by the way, so let's pull this out, right? So it's global. I don't care about the idea was like I go, okay, at get that, right? And then we would push back. Oh yeah, we need to put it in brackets because this is a effect. In fact, if I'm going to do that, so that was my idea, right? So the effects would set the entity indices of the effect indices that would go into the list that then can be pulled out again. So, but the problem is like that's just all I've done is just I've added a tenuous connection, but there's no way to extract like let's just I don't know what these entities are anymore because they're just like random numbers. Like I would have to remember that. Oh yeah, entity 7 is the laser sound effect, and entity 209 is the talk to other player sound effect or something. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So I kind of like this architecture was a bad idea. So let's try another one. Does MA engine support directional sound or open? Yes, it does. So you can like have a positional sound that's further away from the player. I haven't done that yet, but yeah, it definitely does that. It's in one of the examples anyway. The you can do it at position. So I'd say yes, but I don't know if it works as well as OpenAL or whatever, because I know OpenAL does that. That's this big selling point. Anyway, let me think about the architecture a bit more then. Yeah, you're right. I think I need it in reverse, don't I? I think when I create the player... No, okay. So the struggle is for me, I want to keep all my loading code together in one array so it's fast. In memory, right? It's not necessarily fast in any other way, but it's like everything's contiguous. If I have like the player load like like a random amount of effects, and then I set everything up for that, and then another entity like sets another random amount of sound effects. That is like I'm fragmenting the loading code up, which I don't want to do. Okay, so but like you can have an enum that maps the sound effects. Let me think about this enum, because people are saying there's like an enum and a map, but I don't think I've quite mapped it in my head. Let's see. Okay, so there's an enum. The problem is enum's a limited size. I also have the issue that I don't know how many assets I'm going to load in. I don't want to be limited by... I mean, an enum can have a load of values in, don't get me wrong. But I see what you're saying, though. I think at the end of the day, if I have an array of indices that have numbers in, I'm going to struggle to figure out what entity is what. So I think my issue is this right at the beginning, right? I don't think it needs to be a struct. Actually, just put like, oops. The problem is, let's go to these. Like if I'm doing this, I'm in trouble. Either way, right? Because what does this mean? What does this mean? What files do those correspond to? Because when I get them out again, like if I say, oh, I want to play, let's just say my project's like huge, loads, lots of stuff here, and then I'm like, all right, player dot effect, and I'm like, what was it? 1, 2, was it 3? Was it 2? Was it ace 3? Because then I want to be like, because the idea at the end of the day is to basically go, all right, yeah, play this sound effect. So that's what I want to do, right? But I'm still basically stuck with a magic number. And that's going to be difficult to figure out. And if I have an enum, which I think is a good idea in the sense that it makes it simple, because we do have a tag. So like, I don't know, what would this be called? Oops. It's called type for now because I can't think of anything. Then we'd be like, all right, so laser and what is it called next? I don't know. Music and blah 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., etc. Right, goes on and on and on. And then I'm like, all right, we index through this array at this time. Yeah. What I could do is store, I'll read the chat in a sec, the name like file path, or just the file, or just the file name, as like a way to check. And this might help with something dot flag. So there's a little more going on here now. So let me read the chat. I'll catch up. Nebula, just for people who are wondering what Nebula is, this is just my test, like small project with just main in, so I can test architecture stuff and decisions. This is just a fact. This is very. I think this is like an underrated technique for programming. If you are testing some architecture, if you do it in like a dummy environment, you're gonna have a faster turnaround. Because you're not going to make any. It's going to be way easier to figure out what you want to do. So that's what the idea is. We're going to have like faster iterations because I've already kicked away 2 architecture ideas. So okay, so let's see. But I think the built-in audio support environments. I see. Yeah, there's probably stuff that's limited because it is mini audio. It's not exactly full on. Just load some sounds into an array and have that enum. And have the enum be like the index into. And have that enum with 64-bit ints. The problem is the... let me think about that. Do I know at compile time how many pieces of audio we have? This is very important. This is extremely important. Because I think TT could be right here. Sorry for Mado, I'm not answering your question. Let me answer that before I think any further. So we're just testing some architecture to link multiple audio assets to one entity, right? So we have like a player that has 70 sound effects, and we have a 70 is probably a bit of an exaggeration, but let's just say we have a player that has like 5 sound effects. Enemies have 2 sound effects. A rock crashing into a rock has 1 sound effect. So each entity can own some sound effects. So we want to store like an integer to index into an array of entity sound effects. But it's also true that we might not want to do that for like non-owned sound effects like the music and the background, the noise or whatever. So now, do we know the enum? Sorry, do we know the amount of? Because this is important, right? Because if we know the amount of sound effects, then we can do something like an enum that we just index through, and that will help us keep track of what's what based on a name. The downside of that is it's sequence. It's very sequence dependent. So if I add like a piece of music here, or is it? Hang on, I don't think it is actually. I think I might be talking about a butt. Yeah. Oh, can you make a signature byte, and then just yo, have you thought? I'm not sure, to be honest. Have you thought about why you were trying to have sound effects to entities at all? I was starting to think that, to be honest, because now we have entities that have that some sound effects won't be tied to some entities, and kind of like, is this relationship pointless? Wouldn't you just play? Yeah. So let me think a bit more. I just need to figure out a ways. Yeah, because if the entities don't own the sound effects, oh, they could. It's not like they don't have to own them. But I think what we might want to do is have a way to index into the array with an enum. So let's just say I don't know, instead of having this, right, we don't have anything. Entities is just chilling with stuff in it. So I'm just gonna have like model index, you know, like we have in the engine, right? So it has something in there, so it's not gonna cry. And then we go, okay, we want to play laser sound effects. So then we go effects, and we go laser, like that, play, and that would be playing. I kind of want to have a way. Oh yeah, hang on. What's effects have, right? Yeah, because then we want to be like void play. Oops. So I'm almost there, guys. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. uint32. Let me just type this out. Index, and then we have obviously a. I don't know. I'm just gonna have a dummy play sound effect, right? No, this is going to be tied, sorry, let me think, into the audio system. Another struct is necessary for this, because this is the audio. And we're going to have a play, void play. That's going to take an index into an array, which is the index into the array, which is the sound effect array. And I'll explain through this in a minute. Index. Come on, index. So this is just because we have this. This is how we set it up at the moment in our engine, so I'm just doing it exactly the same way. And then we would be like, okay, effects, index, and that would do a play, right? Now obviously it's still going to complain. Play thing. Play effect, right? This would be the effects. And we actually pass in the enum. And oh yeah, this audio needs to be like this. And I'm not sure how big this is going to be, but yeah, I'm going to make this into a uint32 type, which obviously is massive, but whatever. Return value is ignored. Yes, that's okay. So we're not actually doing anything with that, obviously, but then like, you know, blah one. We want to play blah one, and then we want to play like music, and then we want to play blah 99 or whatever. Yeah, I think this makes sense because it's going to be a little bit more work to maintain on my end. Like it's going to be like, oh, I've added a new piece of music. I think what I might want to do is add a static assert or something. That this enum has to have the same count. So this needs to have the same count size as the effects, right? So static assert that effects dot size is equal to count. Because if this doesn't, if these aren't equal, then oh, x. And then is there a second argument here or something? Why are you being? Oh, const expr. Alright, fine. This does not matter. Static const expr. It's now going to become a const expr with a copy, which we can just do. Sorry, I'll look at chat in a sec. uint32, I think. Size T still. Well, it's size T, isn't it? Size T. When it comes from within integer. So we have static context bar size of effects equals this. So it should copy over and be... Nope. That doesn't like that. Oh, for goodness sake. Can't you just become a static? I just want to get the size and compare it to something. And do a static X. No, it's the other one, isn't it? I'm trying to do a static. Yeah, sorry, I'm being dumb. I'm totally dumb. What's the other one? It's not. There's a runtime version of this, isn't there? Like runtime it's set? Yeah, I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm doing it totally wrong. Static is like for compile time. Like runtime assert? Is that a C++ thing? Like, is it just assert? Am I just getting completely... Yeah, okay. Okay, I overcomplicated that like 110%. Apologies. Okay. Okay, I didn't quite get that right. I assume this is just an assert, right? Yep. Okay, that was just me stupid. I completely forgot what static assert does. Okay, so because we obviously don't know what the compile time. Yeah, this cannot be compile time. Static assert is compile time. Sorry. So being daft. Okay, so these have to be equal, otherwise this is screwed. And the problem is okay. So there's one more problem to solve. Yeah, my bad. We're getting there, but I've just thought of something. Yeah, what's runtime assert? I don't know. My brain, like, you know, your brain like runs too quickly. You're like, I don't know what was happening there. Lose the coupling of the system tends to be, yeah, loose coupling. The only thing we have to worry about now, which I've got to be careful of, is the, like, if I get the order wrong, I don't think we need this anymore. Yeah, we don't need this index. Oh wait. Or do we? Interesting. Hang on. Is there a way? I don't think there is there? How do you index into a... Okay, so... There's a... I've done this before. Give me a minute. In my actual engine. Oh no, I'm going to go back to my old engine. Hang on. I've done some cool code. I've done some code, I'm just going to say that, where I actually build a static array of... Yeah, appreciate that, dudes. Yeah. So what we're going to look at is just how to build a static array of all the entities. I don't think we need to worry too much, but... So this is my old engine. So it has layers of abstraction upon layers of abstraction, which I kind of ripped out in the end. Although it can do a lot more. I just need to figure out where I did this thing where I had like arrays, I had like enums and arrays. So I'm just going to scroll through my old code. This, if you're interested in this engine, so we're currently working on the Void engine. This is called the Air engine, which is also public if you're interested. But yes, you'll have to... I think there's some subtle mistakes in this. I don't think it actually compiles without issues. No, compiles, sorry. I think it has a validation error in this engine, which I'm not willing to fix. So yeah, just bear with me. It actually has more features in there. That's the upside of this engine. Which I'll eventually steal. Like transparency. There it is. Okay, so this is what we wanted to do. What did I do here, right? I had a... Oh, I just... no, I just had a two-string index static cast int. Oh, okay, that's a bit lame. Okay, so the only thing I want to do, right, is to make my life easier. So the only thing I'm trying to worry about now is it's the final issue. It's less of it, less. So we have unique names, right? Which are going to come through the enum. Now, if I'm going to load things through like a for loop, how do I set the order to be correct? Or do I even... Hang on, I've come up with an idea. See what you guys think. I'm going to reopen my engine, sorry. I kind of closed it prematurely. I just come up with an idea. See what you think. So my architecture idea, right, is to have a toString function that... This just makes sure the coupling is 100% correct. Because I don't want in the future... I've had this problem at work where people have broke the order between... There's a tight coupling relationship between the enum and what the assets need to be loaded in. So if I load, for example, laser last, music arbitrarily in the middle, but the enum's out of order then. Like the enum and the loaded assets need to be exactly the same, right? So what I'm going to do is... it's still a bit clumsy, but what I'm thinking is taking this idea, right? Throwing this in here, right? And I'm not going to call it this. I'm going to call it something like effects, right? And then we're going to have like laser dot flac, and then we're going to take the function where we return the string based on this like enum. We'll throw this in an enum like enum. Sorry, namespace. I don't know. Sounds. I think I've abused these sounds things to death now, but something like this, right? So we have like... So if I actually want to load a sound effect, I actually need to do this. This might be overkill, but music dot flac, right? Now, this doesn't stop us from making a mistake, but it forces me to be like, alright, so if I want to actually add a like this and this. Oh no, wrong thing. SFX. So then when I do this, alright, I'm going to leave them for a minute. Okay, maybe the enum's a bit of a dumb idea, but so what I want to do is instead of like something.flac, I go so sounds. We want to do toString. I, right? Oh, it's the enum. Oh yeah, then we want to cast this to a type. Sound. Yeah, okay, so that's what I'm thinking, right? So instead of like loading the assets like blah blah blah, something something something, we actually load them in a list of an array, of a static array. This will be in the string static array part of the memory. That means we can loop through these very nicely, and if I want to add a sound effect, then I absolutely have to interact with this enum, because again, what I don't want to do is have someone loading something here that isn't musical laser, or the vice versa, where someone comes in and goes, oh, by the way, I'm going to put yell in here, right? And that completely breaks the order between this and this. At the very least, the relationship has to be maintained a little bit easier. I think that's good. No need to... Okay. How many engines do you have? I have wind, air, gust, Vulkan, and void. So 5 public engines. Oh, and Tempest. Did I say Tempest? No, I didn't say Tempest. Yeah, and Tempest, yeah. So 6. I ran out of names relating to the to like wind. Wish there was an enum array type thing in C++. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. So yeah, I think we're on the same path here. That loops through. Yeah. I think, yeah, as long as no one's going, this is going to be stupid. At the very least, we can see the difference between the two. It's a bit clumsy, but let's just make sure that, yeah. And we still need this assert here where count is equal to size. Well, it doesn't know what it is now. I don't think I'll do the enum. It's kind of clumsy, but yeah, that. Right, let's clean this up a little bit so I know what's going on. So this is the thing we're loading. Yeah, so we don't want this file name. We don't want this index because we're not actually going to use this anymore. Effects, we actually don't need this effects at all. Yeah, we're just going to get rid of that. We're going to have a list of effects and this. Get rid of that. So this is pretending to load a thing based on an array. So this would be, you know, I don't know. Alright, let's just fake this for a minute just so I don't go nuts. Void load something, like load, yeah, load. Const jar path, right? Does a thing, don't really know. And then that's, yeah. Okay, so this is just fake at the moment. So if I do this, E. Again, this is just to simulate what we're doing. We take this, we put this in here. And that means we're looping through all of our thingamajiggies. Based on a cast. This just makes my life easier. And then when we want to actually play the sound effects, we just take, okay, so this is just, yeah, sounds. Yeah, maybe the enum is a good idea. I don't know. Like SFX, like that, right? And then we've, the only thing we need to worry about the relationship is that enum and the enum. Whoa. Didn't like that. The only thing we need to worry about now is just the relationship between this and this. This is the actual relationship now. So every time we add a new thing, we need to increase this. Yeah. Sounds good. You've got to go. See you, dude. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Right. Okay, so let's write this. We've had enough time to play around with it. String. What? Turn values ignore. Oh. Because it doesn't do anything. Why is it ignored? What are you talking about? Because yeah. Okay. So I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. Let me just. So we have some space to copy this over. Gonna copy this out. A tuple might work. C++ tuples. I wonder if that's. I don't think I've actually coded tuples myself. Yeah, I think we're good. It's not perfect, but it's not. It just forces the programmer to interact with this. I'll just have to document it. So I'm just going to just copy this into. Well, how do I want to do this? Where do I want to put this? So now we need a public accessible array. So I've got to figure out where to put that. Notepad++. Actually, we can just copy over this. Close that. And do this to this. Okay. Get rid of this. So yeah, we're not gonna. We need to build a. In our audio. Sorry, I'm gonna be quiet because I just had a thought. Sorry, I know this is a bit poop. But I feel like in my last engine I've done it better. I just remembered the audio system I set up. Oops. This had a resource pool that indexed into a resource pool based on based on a name. So you would pass in the name to play the sound effect. It did something I don't want to do, which is load a bunch of. It's convenient, but it loads a bunch of files off disk. Because I feel like that's like unnecessary, like code. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Hang on. But yeah, play sound effect. Then it kind of does a hash on a string and finds it in a map. I think mine's faster though. I think hashing a string and doing a find operation, even though I'm using like SIMD or whatever, it's no. I think mine's better. The one I made not this one, the other one. The only reason I'm saying that is because I'm not having to interact with hashing and doing a find operation, which isn't free. And then deal with the resource pool. Okay, so yeah, I'm fine with mine. Mine's more like C. Right, so let's the only downside of my version is it's not. You could easily make it so that the enum doesn't match up with the file name, but I'm not that worried about that. That's not too bad. Anyways, okay, we're playing this again. Nice. You know what I'm in the mood for? This one. Okay, so where should I put this? That's the next question. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to put this... Yeah, if we're going to play some driving music, we've got to play this one. Okay. Yeah, programming's complicated, guys, I tell you. There's trade-offs. There's just trade-offs to what I'm doing. And I've just got to accept the trade-offs. I don't think I can build a system where there's no trade-offs. Right. Right, okay, so do we want this namespace? I'm going to go with no for a minute and add the namespace in after if I want it. So we do want to throw this in here. Ah, come on. Now we do want the sound. What are the musics that we have? We have not that. Wrong engine. Yeah, the trade-offs here are I could make a system that's easier to use but slower, or I could make a system that's faster to use but it's harder to use. Faster but harder to use. I think that's the trade-off we've got to make. So I'm just going to go off the file names here. So obviously we don't want something silly like okay, so here's the next thing we need. We need another one for music. So this is just for sound effects. Effects. What is it? SFX type. So we need two. We need yeah, static effects, which is fine. All right, I'll put it in a namespace. It's just gonna be easier. And we need to have this with SFX. SFX. And then music, I want a 3-letter acronym. I'm just gonna go with I don't know. What's a good one for music? Muse. Mus. I don't know, I'll do. Where would you be without enums? Oh, tell me about it. Oh, you want this background music? This is Tail Lights by Midnight Maximum Tune. So I'll paste that in chat if you're interested. Where's my stream gone? Live stream. Here we go. Okay. There you go. Hi, Matt. In what way? Okay, so it's easier to use. The other system I used, because it picked up all the files on the disk without having to load them at all. So actually, it asks the operating system where are the things. It loads them all in, and it loads them into basically a map, and you can look up that map with a string. The downside of that is you're handling things with strings now, and which is slower than numbers on computers. The second thing is I'm hashing a string all the time, which I don't have to do if I use this case, and I don't have to do a find operation on a map. The reason this is harder to use now is this is harder to use because you could make a mistake, a critical mistake, where the what is it called? This enum and this string need to be one-to-one. They cannot be separate. So it's possible that someone adds like an enum here and doesn't add this here, or doesn't use this at all. Then that relationship between that enum and that number that we're going to index into an array with completely falls apart. Whereas you wouldn't have that with a map. So laser, and then a collect. Oh, and flying noise, yeah. Oh, we actually don't have this anymore. We have a laser. So we have laser. So this is the thing, we've got to be careful. If we replace, and again, if we replace, so if I want to rename this to laser, like actually, because we like if I rename a file, then I've also got to rename it 3 different places. Otherwise, everything falls apart. So it's a little harder to use, but it's faster in the long run. But like I said, it's trade-offs. Like it's faster, and because of that trade-off, it's harder to use. Which I'm willing to sacrifice. I like this architecture. It's kind of cool. Right, so let's change this to laser. I mean, it's really only going to be me working on this, to be honest. So, okay, laser. We don't need any of these now. 2 string. We have moss. Let's say I can just call this music type. I don't know if this is going to be annoying to type. The reason I'm doing 2 different enums here is because we're going to have 2 different arrays for music, and I just feel like it's going to be more convenient to have like 2 different arrays with 2 different types of music in, like sound effects and music. That's just I think that's going to be easier. I don't know if it actually is. So we don't need this. You could have a map from a string. Yeah, I think that's more or less what I did in the other one, but I'm fine with this one. This one's fine. We worked it out. It's pretty solid. It's not like bad or anything. We just got to make sure when we load the audios, we use this, not what I used before, which is easy to do. That means we can turn everything into an array, which is nice. I don't know where our arrays are right now, but so where are we loading audio stuff? Because again, I want to thread this eventually, so or soon. It's on the docket anyway, and if I can just keep everything like looped tightly, and the shared data is just going to be read only, then yeah, I think we're all right then. We have free floating functions here, and I'm kind of concerned about object lifetime. Obviously these can't exist here because this is a music. Oh, okay, we're playing this again. Let's change the song. I love the song, but I don't want to bore you guys with it. We'll just move on. I don't know what it is. I feel like Spotify's got playlist completely on lock, and then YouTube does not know how playlists work at all. Like, come on. Right. But I don't want to use Spotify, so it doesn't have all the music. Okay, cool. Okay, so these can't be here. So I've got to put these in a place where the lifetime of the object is dependable. So I think it can be defined anyway. It just needs to be initialized at the right time. Which means I think I'm completely fine with putting this straight in the header. Because we're not actually going to, it's global. But we initialize it. It's not like C++ regular stuff. This is just going to be, we actually manually initialize this. So we just need to use a system allocator to do this. What if the auto created hash numbers for each item? That is something that you could do. What I've been thinking about with strings is pre-hashing all the strings, so we don't actually have to do that. Hash of strings. But regardless, even if I didn't use hash strings, so that is something you could do. You would have to do that like at some point in it, like a big chunk. Like let's just say before release, you would pre-hash all the strings, and then you just use those like random, those like long numbers that you've been able to figure out, because they're always the same, and that assumes that the string doesn't change. Like you cannot change the string after that point. What is it called? So that would improve that. We wouldn't have to do the hash thing. Hint it, right? Yeah. Yeah, because we're very explicit with this. So the system allocator is in memory service. Let's grab that out. So yeah, there are ways around it. Is it an application? No, I think it's in Foundation actually. But still, it's because of that Foundry operation. It's still not free. It's not like a big deal, by the way. It's just trade-offs. It's all trade-offs, isn't it? It's nothing crazy. Where is this memory service guy? Where did I put you? Imports, Windows, memory? I just stick it in. I can't remember. Anyway, whatever. It is in memory service, so we do need to find that. Yes, okay, so whatever. Instance, oops, instance, and we want the system allocator, which I don't think is a pointer. Or is it? Hang on. You're not defined. Really? It's peace out from me. See you, Gemma. Have a good rest of the day. Yeah, thanks for coming to the stream. Ah, no, thank you. Right, okay, so we want to go into... Wait, why is the thing not coming over? So like, it's not a namespace. We want this to be accessible everywhere. Do I want to make an object here? I guess so. I don't think I can avoid it. If I just have like a... Yeah. If it's not plain ball, then we've got to... Yeah, let's call it like... I wanted to get away from this because it's just... It's fine, it's fine. It's not like a big deal. This is the audio system. It's a very... We did remove this later on, but I think with this... Oh. Okay, that's kind of awkward. Let me just copy this. Control Z. Where's the... Oh, never mind. Sound effects. Alright, it's not a big deal. Audio... Wait a minute. No, mini audio is here. Okay, so... Array. And we need to type in MA sounds for sound effects and then duplicate that for music. This is just so we can loop through the music and the sound effects separately. It's kind of handy. So these don't exist because these all need to have now audio like this. It's not ideal, but it's something. Oh, audio system. I think that's a namespace. Unary scope resolution operator. In it goes. Blah blah blah. Load audio. Shut down. Right. Because yeah, we need to have an array. Now this is all public, but this might be a singleton. We'll see. Anyway, so we need... How much sound effects do we need? Don't you need a getter? No, I don't really handle getters and setters. I don't use encapsulation. My encapsulation boundaries are supposed to be horizontal rather than sorry, supposed to be yeah, horizontal. Sorry, that is right. Horizontal rather than vertical. So there's no hierarchy. Apart from some of the stuff I really can't get around. But anyway, like arrays. I don't want to have to write 2 different arrays with the exact same code just because an allocator is different. But so there is some inheritance. Let's go with a simple 16, right? Right now we don't have much. Oh, this probably needs to be a reference. I don't know what this is. Yes, okay, finally. Duplicate. Music. We'll have 16 music sound effects. We'll probably have more sound effects than music, but yeah. So we'll have 8 of them. Alright, so now we just shut down these guys. So we have sound. Oops, there we go. Sound effects. Size. Initialize the sound. So this is going to be quite straightforward. Take the address of... Oh, come on. Press the right key. Where's the ampersand? There it is. It's sound effects. I. Right, so take this. Copy, paste. Music. So that should be... Oops, we've also got to unsound the actual right things. And then we want to shut down our arrays. Shut down. Oops. Duplicate. Then we want music. Okay, so our arrays are all good. We don't want these anymore because we're not going to use them. Okay, so the big task of the day is looping through these, having a u in 32t, I equals 0, I is less than sound, sfx, sfx, count. Oh, I did a capital S. And plus plus I. You see how this works now? It's pretty sick, right? Well, I think so, at least. So we're going to have an MA result in here, I think. No, we don't need that. We don't need an MA result. Now, we need the toString. We need to make a string buffer. Can C++ work this out? We'll see, we'll see. So we need a const jar base path, which is always going to be the same. Let's pull this out. We need to re-sign it every single time. And we're going to have this to be... This is never going to change. So let's pray C++ can do its... Okay, so now we need that, right? So that's as far as we need. Base class plus the sfx toString I cast sfx. Oh, I've got all that in there still. SFX, sorry. SFX type. Can't you concatenate strings like this? Or is this not allowed? I think I might need to check if this is allowed even. Full address equals Base path plus this thing. I just want to see what the error is. I don't know if it's the return type or what. Like, because it might be like an R reference issue, but I don't think it is. Expression must have. Okay, let's just check that it's nothing to do with the arguments. I don't think it is. I think it's this. I thought you could add strings together. Am I just tripping? Let's try something like blah, right? Nope. Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work, but expression must have an integral. Okay, so we're gonna have to do what I didn't want to do, but that's fine. We're just gonna have to construct a string thingy. Oh, I've got to turn this up a bit. This is like the best song in Stardew Valley that I've heard. I'll turn the next song down. So yeah, we're just basically gonna do a. I really just wanted to get around this doing it statically, but I guess it's runtime, so it needs to be a sfprintf. So we're gonna use our version of that though, the string guy. So we use our own allocator, string buffer, right? Full address, which is quite, it's simple enough. It's very, it's just all this is just an sfprintf thing with my own allocator, and it's nothing special. It's just super basic. I think it might even use sfprintf. So if you're familiar with C, this is like very. All we're doing is just chopping them together. And I think it's because it's runtime. We can't actually do this concatenate thing because we actually don't know what's in that array. Anyway, so. But yeah, it's not ideal because we have to make this a fixed size almost. Anyway. But yeah, it's chill. Yeah, it's chill. Instance. And. Oops, wrong thing. System allocator. Maybe it's Scratch actually. This is a Scratch thing, this, because it really isn't that big. We need at least of. Let's just make it like this. Oh, you didn't like that. What? Oh, sizes first. Why did I do that? Interesting. Okay. I need to fix that. That's kind of stupid. Everything is the other way around except for this. Okay, fine. Not two S's there. There we go. So then we need to do a .use s substring. So we take our base string, which is our base thingy. Oh, hang on. I need a %s. %s. And then we can take this and throw this in as the second argument. Yeah, there we go. That's what I needed. That's what I needed. So I cast this to a sfx type. Cool. Okay, so that's going to return us the actual string value that we need. And then we just need to do the same again. What I want to do is a pop and push from our memory so we don't end up using too much. So get marker, so we want to have a marker here, so we end up freeing it, all the memory. So this is all stack based. String sfx string marker. Oh, you gotta go. See you, dude. Yeah, thank you for turning up for my stream. Thank you for saying it's cool. Appreciate that, dude. I honestly feel the other way, the opposite sometimes, but you know, it is what it is. But I think we're making progress. I'm trying to see if I can get this done quick. So what we're doing right now is we're setting up a marker in my allocator, and then once we finish that, we then go back to that marker, right? So that means we can overwrite some of the memory that we've allocated, and we can save running more that we don't need to. So we do this, and that means we can duplicate this array with the same allocated piece of memory. Alright, I'll turn that down now, it's a bit loud. Sorry. I just wanted to listen to that, it's kind of cool. Also, sick track, right? I say that because I don't know why I'm saying that. It's like, yeah, my music taste, I really like my own music taste. But there we are. I didn't even allocate into our array, so let's do that. Where's our sound guy? Audio. I need to go to audio. And grab our sound effects, and then actually... where are we? Sounds. So, now obviously this is an array now, so... this is tricky. Can we do this? I think we can, but now we need to allocate the actual size of this array slightly differently. So the sound effects is now 1616. So that'll allocate 8 slots and 16 slots that we can now hopefully index into like this. Same with music. Okay. And we're going to do our mus count. And then we're going to use our mus count here as well. Oops. Mus. Very important that these are. And then mus. This is music. I want to be 3-letter acronyms because I hate having enums that are super long. It's so annoying. And yes, we're going to do the same deal. But we're going to have a different marker now. Could we reuse the same marker? Yeah, let's just reuse it. Music marker, I guess. I'll just call it that. Something vaguer. And then we can just reassign it. And then we free at the same time, and then we shut down our string anyway. So it's kind of redundant, but it's clean. So now we take our this guy, and then we shut down, and then we delete everything else. In fact, we need to do something else. We need to actually have the error print out, so we can't actually do this. We just have to do something slightly different. It's not that bad. Just so we can use it in 2 different places. Full path, I guess. Equals this. And then... oh. Yep. Full path. So this goes in here now, and then this goes in here now. Yeah, so we're going to do the same thing there, so we can actually have the error. Makes sense if it doesn't load. And yeah, that helps us out a lot. So there and there. Okay. So that is our loading code. We have 2 different music groups, so we can make them quiet and loud when we need to. Next thing to do is delete these. We don't need these anymore. We have them. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Hey, how do you prepare for each stream? Do you read up specific tutorials and then try to implement them during stream? Pretty much, but I don't read up. Yeah, pretty much. I sometimes read tutorials, read books, read documentation of stuff. All those type of things that I do to make sure that when I come on stream, I'm not completely fumbling around. That hasn't been the case recently because I've been trying to read threading off stream, so we can implement threading. So yeah, That's pretty much how I prepare. I try to, but you've got to have some. Well, you don't. No one has to have this, but I have to remind myself at least that because I'm streaming pretty often, sometimes every day, that there's only a limited amount of prep that I can do. Whereas if I was streaming every week, like once a week, then that would be a different story. Then I would have a lot more time to prep. But I kind of like the chaotic nature of streaming more often, because who knows how much progress I'll make. I might make none, I might make tons. It just pushes me to be better, so yeah. Right, so we have oh yeah, we need to play the right sound effect, which is okay. So here's the key, right? I want to play sound effects from the sound effects. What is it called? Sound effects. We want to play. What was this one? Laser. SFX. Laser. And this returns a. Oh, these need to be pointers. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense, yes. That's how it was done originally, yeah, okay, yeah, that's the job. But yeah, if you wanted to do this yourself, I recommend just going for it. You're never going to be completely prepared for stream. There are some days where I want to be prepared more than I am, and I just stream anyway. There's no like 100% guaranteed for streaming, you know, like 100% prep. So yeah. Okay, so what are we doing? We are let me just look over what I've done, because I feel like I've implemented everything. I've forgotten how I wanted to use it. Yeah, I think what I need to do is oh, that's it, obviously. Alright, play sound effect. Play sound. That was what I wanted to do. Play sound effect. Right. This is the whole point of this. And not just play. Play sound effect. Right. So a little interface around this. And then we want a uint32. I could even have a. Let's get rid of these. This is silly having all this here. Yeah, I could have the actual enum here. So SFX. SFX types. Type. And then, yeah, the whole point of this is so I can play any arbitrary sound effect at any point with, yes, laser will be the one that's used, but, oh, play E, play, there we go. Right, so we've done that. We are, now we need an audio system. I think I can make this local for now. I might make this into a singleton. It's like accessible through something. So these two. Right, cool. And now the power of this is actually quite useful. So play Sound effects is now a generic function. I take an SFX and I play laser. Hell yeah, dude. I love that. And what's down here? Audio system. System M shut down. Oh, lowercase, obviously. Lowercase a. And cool. Alright. Next is we need to set the audio system up so it plays music, and in the build scene let me think. Do I care where this is set up at the moment? I don't think I do. But I will want some kind of system where audio system isn't... What? Okay, well anyway, that's pretty much we're pretty much done. I'll get the rest working off stream, I think. I'll share. This is our Discord if you want to join it. It should be linked in my channel. Thank you everyone who's turned up my stream. I appreciate everyone who liked, commented, subscribed, and talked to me on stream, kept me company and stuff. Yeah, I'll see you all soon. Have a good rest of the day, and yeah.